Hola Northshore Podcast está creado para resaltar los aportes de los emprendedores y personajes latinos e hispanos en el Northshore de Luisiana. Hablamos con personas influyentes quienes aportan a nuestra comunidad en el área de St Tammany parish y sus alrededores. Gracias por conectarse con nosotros y bienvenidos.
Hello and welcome to Hola Northshore. I am Ana Sayago, a proud Latina born and raised in Mexico. I have been living on the North Shore since 2006. I am a professional working for a national nonprofit organization dedicated to foster care, but I am also an entrepreneur. I am the face and owner of NOLA CREPES on the Stick. Este programa es traído a ustedes gracias a LCI Workers Comps, que a través de su programa Caminos ayuda a los emprendedores latinos a entender un poco más acerca de las reglas de Workers Comps aquí en los Estados Unidos. Gracias a Lettuce Media también por tenernos hoy en sus estudios. Bueno, hoy día nos acompaña Logan Luquette de Tierra Law Firm. Estaremos platicando con él. La conversación va a ser en inglés y en español, así que esperamos que sea de su agrado. Bienvenido, Logan.
Bienvenidos.
Buenos días, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿y usted?
Muy bien, gracias. Feliz de tenerte aquí este día y de aprender un poco más acerca de quién eres tú y quién es Tierra Law Firm.
Okay. Tierra Law Firm is a law firm who we are dedicated to immigration law. The firm started back in June of this year. I have 8 years of experience in immigration law and decided that there needed to be a firm that was dedicated to helping people, dedicated to making sure that people's cases are heard and handled properly. There, specifically on the North Shore, there's not a lot of immigration lawyers, and there's a big immigrant population. And after living here, I've been living on the North Shore specifically for a little over a year now. I realized that there needed to be someone here to help people out. And I realized that I can provide a level of service, a level of competency that this community could really use. So Tierra Law Firm was founded on those values of that we are going to provide excellent service to people who in need of excellent service. And we're going to also treat your case as more than just a case. You're more than just a case here. You are a person with a life and with a family and with values and with needs, and that we're going to treat you as that, not just a person, a number on a computer that we deal with.
Thank you, Logan. Thank you for that explanation. I love it. I have been living on the North Shore for 19 years now, and definitely I have been a witness, and I have seen the Latino community growing every year. And like you said, we don't have many immigration attorneys, so welcome to the North Shore. Welcome to our community, and I cannot wait to see where this journey takes you.
Awesome. Yes, Hammond maybe is not quite the North Shore, depending on who you ask, but I went to Southeastern, and my wife is actually Puerto Rican Cuban. She grew up at Hammond, and so when I was in school in 2010 to 2014 in Hammond, there was maybe one, Hispanic grocery store, and now I go back to Hammond and I see them everywhere. So, I know I've seen the growth firsthand of this area and the impact, the positive impact that the Hispanic community has been having here on the North Shore and helping it grow and growing with the North Shore.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those words, Logan. Okay, well, thank you, Logan. Now, I want to know a little bit more about yourself, your personal life, and why immigration law.
Okay. Well, primero, habla español más o menos. Sí, entiendo más, pero habla más o menos. So, estuve un abogado de inmigración por 8 años y encantó leyes de inmigración porque mi esposa es cubano y abuelos de ella entrado a Estados Unidos en muchos años, 40 años in la pasada. And so I really found, first-hand experience, very personal to me, seeing it. But other than that, I have, since I was a kid, my favorite book growing up was The Great Gatsby, and talked about the American dream, and it talked about this land of opportunity that the United States is. And I really, truly believe that, that we are that. Even in times where maybe it doesn't seem that way for everyone, I really believe that we are still that place, that's still ideal, country that gives everyone the opportunity that the Statue of Liberty stands for. And so that really drew me to this area, because I saw that there was a lot of people who really just wanted to live a good life, and they tried to do it where they were, and for various reasons that didn't happen. So they came here where they saw that they had that opportunity. And so if I could do anything to help those people and help people trying to achieve that dream, something that I saw firsthand that my wife's grandparents were able to achieve. They landed on a boat from Cuba with nothing. And, a funny story is that they both passed away since then, but their inheritance kind of that my wife received from him was kind of what allowed us this opportunity to start this firm. So I've seen it firsthand that these people came with literally the clothes on their back and made it. So if I can provide anyone even a part of that opportunity, it really is what helps me or what motivates me to do this.
Thank you, Logan. That's actually very, very nice to hear from an attorney, right? Especially an immigration attorney. When you put your heart into what you're doing, it definitely makes a difference. Thank you so much.
Yep.
So now we want to talk a little bit more about today's immigration climate.
Okay.
A lot of people fear, a lot of people has anxiety for
Sure.
everything that is happening. How can they protect themselves? What do you recommend for these families, for these people? What steps can they take to protect themselves?
Sure. So the first thing I've been trying to portray to people, tell people, is that the best time to start something was yesterday. The second best time is now, right? Don't wait until something happens to you, because at that point it's too late. For instance, I have a client who previously missed a court hearing when she was a child. Mm-hmm. Her mother just didn't take her. She waited to get picked up, or she got picked up by immigration, and then they hired me to help her. Her family hired me to help her. I was able to get her a removal order. So removal is a technical term for deportation. So I might use those words interchangeably. But I was able to get her removal order taken away. However, at that time, she was already in ICE custody, and ICE ended up deporting her anyway. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm working with the family to try to get her back to the United States. If she would have come to me before she was picked up, then I could have gotten that removal order taken away before she was ever picked up, and she may have never been picked up. So I really am trying to tell people that if you get picked up, it's too late. Not too late. There's depending on your situation. But you should know your situation. If you ever think that you were in contact with immigration, whether it's at the border, if you were previously encountered by immigration, come to an attorney. We can do records checks. We can find out your history, because we can probably help you, or at least tell you, hey, we can't help you, and you can make contingency plans with your family. So I think the biggest thing I want to convey to people right now is don't wait. Be proactive. Let's figure out your history. Let's figure out how to fix it.
Gracias, Logan. Muchas gracias. So, para nuestra comunidad latina, por favor, comuníquense con algún abogado, infórmense acerca de cuáles son las propuestas o las oportunidades que puedan tener dependiendo en cada caso de ustedes, ¿verdad? Sí. Logan, existe el Family Immigration Plan,
yes,
¿verdad? Sí. So, can you tell us a little bit more about what is a Family Immigration Plan?
Sure. So, and another thing I've seen recently is people who are married to U.S. citizens or have U.S. citizen children who are over 21 who are just kind of waiting and not doing anything. But don't do that. Take that opportunity to affirmatively petition yourself. It's just good advice in general. It's to get your papers fixed. Mm-hmm. But secondly, it gives you a lot of credibility when you go before an immigration judge that you've taken some steps. And so if you're married to a U.S. citizen and you guys married because you love each other and you want to be together, we can file a petition for you. If you have U.S. citizen children who are in the United States, there may be some extra steps that maybe it's not possible for you to get your papers fixed exactly, depending on how you enter the country and things like that. But it still doesn't hurt to call our office. We take free consultations. I'm happy to talk to you and tell you, hey, this is what you need to do. This is why it's possible. This is why it's not possible. So again, kind of be proactive. Don't wait. And when it comes to kind of family petitions and really doing it. But as far as a family plan goes, the advice I'm really giving to people are have contact information, have a centralized place with information. Be prepared that maybe you won't be coming home from work today, or someone needs to pick your kids up from school. It's terrible to talk about. It's terrible to say. It's terrible to have to live with that fear. And I'm not trying to make anyone feel nervous, but having a plan, having some surety if something happens to you should hopefully make you feel a little bit less nervous. So have an attorney's number on standby. Memorize your wife's phone number. It took me many years to do. Memorize somebody's phone number to call when you get to immigration. make sure your paperwork at your children's school is filled out so that you have contingency people to pick up your children so that they don't have any
emergency
problems.
contacts, right?
Yes,
Very
emergency
important.
contacts are important. You can seek some like power of attorneys if you own property and you want to make sure that it's transferred over and if you get picked up. So make sure you start getting your ducks in a row. Something may never happen to you, and that's great. That's what I hope for. But be prepared in case it does.
Let me ask you this question. It's very important for me because I do work with children and
Sure.
I'm a children advocate. So for these families that had minors, and if they're detained, can they have a power of attorney where they can have a person in charge and they can stay with their children, or they can stay in charge of their children?
Correct. Yes. So I have been recommending giving power of attorney over children to someone. I would say an ideal world it would be someone with legal status in the U.S. But if not, if you don't have that, just someone here, whether it's a grandparent, aunt, an uncle, or a cousin, older cousin, just so that these children can continue to A, go to school, but B, receive medical care and go to the doctor if they need to go to the doctor.
Especially making sure they are in a safe environment, right?
Exactly. Yes. And to make sure it's with someone you trust, like not just any random person. Not just
any person around there. So, but that's great advice. Thank you so much, Logan, for all of this information. Now, what can you tell us about knowing your rights? What
Sure.
other information about knowing your rights it's good for you to share to the community?
Yeah, I think there's really 2 or 3 big things to touch on with that. I want to, kind of get that information out because there's a lot of bad information around. When it comes to ICE coming to your home or immigration coming to your home, they need a judicial warrant to enter your home. They may show you a piece of paper that says it's a warrant, but if it's not a warrant signed by an actual federal judge, they can't come into your home. Now, if you let them in your home, they can come in your home, but don't let them in your home. They're going to try to scare you. They're going to stand at your door and they may scream and say all these things, but without a judicial warrant, they can't come in your home. Because ICE has the power to sign warrants for aliens is the legal term. But it doesn't give them the power to come into your home. So they can sign a warrant for themselves saying that they prove to themselves that they have the power to get you, but that's not enough to enter a residence. So that's the biggest thing.
I feel that staying calm, it's definitely very important because
Yes.
I've seen so many videos and I've seen on the news too. Of course, when ICE gets to your home and your door, they get very scared.
Sure.
They get nervous and they don't know how to act. So getting the knowledge, inform yourself about what can you do, knowing about your rights is step number 1.
Right.
And then if you are in that particular case, keep calm, stay
Yes.
calm. Think on what you have to do, how you're gonna react, and then follow the tips that Logan is giving us.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest one, is to, make sure that now again, this doesn't apply if you're in a public space. If you're out in public, ICE doesn't have that requirement. They just need what's called a reasonable suspicion to take you in.
What if they are on their cars or vehicles?
Great question. So I've seen that happen a lot in Mississippi. So that kind of stretch of I-10 that runs through Gulfport, Biloxi, Mississippi, CBP is pretty active there. And so CBP is a different agency than ICE, but they have the same power to inspect and detain. It's called reasonable suspicion, but it's racial profiling. If I've heard numerous stories of a group of guys, 4 or 5 guys in a truck together, maybe some tools in the back, driving at 6 a.m., maybe stopping at a gas station, getting some Red Bulls and some coffee, and they pull out the gas station and immigration is waiting for them a couple miles down the road and pulls them over. So at that point, it's on the scene. You're never going to win anything. You're never going to argue. You're not going to talk your way out of it. Especially these days, these officers just don't care. Their job is to meet with the 6,000 person a day deportation quota that the administration put in place. So at that point, try to remain calm again and think logically. Have those contacts in place so you know who to call. Because the worst thing you want to do is try to run away or resist.
We'll say cooperate with them, right? Just cooperate. If you're on that situation,
yes,
just cooperate.
Yeah, you're gonna get your chance to go before a judge. You're gonna get you're gonna get a chance to fight. But you're never gonna convince them on the side of the road that they're wrong. So
great. Well, thank you so much for all the tips
ma'am.
that you've given us. We're really, really happy to have you here today. Anything else that you want to give, a special message that you want to give to our community here in the North Shore?
Yeah. So I stay strong, stay positive. Being scared, being depressed is kind of the goal of this. This is their plan, right? To get people scared, so people leave voluntarily, so people are in hiding, and you need to fight that. You need to stay strong. It is scary, and not saying it's not. And I know it might be easy for me to say to stay strong, but I really mean that, and really do what you can to stay positive. I'm a good Southern Louisiana Catholic boy. I really believe in the power of prayer. Say your prayers and stay strong, and trust in the Lord that He has bigger plans, and He gives us the strength when we need it. So that would really be my message.
Thank you so much, Logan. And I am with you. I'm a woman of faith too, and let's stay positive, keep faith, and very important to remember, knowledge is power.
Yes,
so let's that knowledge can definitely save your life. And thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, Logan.
Thank you.